Grit. What up, family? Are you grinding? How you feeling? I wish I could say I'm in a good mood, but I'm not in a good mood because, when you're dealing with systematic oppression, when you walk in the world as a person of color, it's always a black and white thing. Good morning. Yes, you're probably thinking, damn, Alicia usually brings some spiritual text. But talking about racism can be spiritual, can't it? I'm an educator. I never, ever would have imagined myself admitting that fact, sharing that. Let me get my light. Where's my light? I am an educator. I would have never admitted that fact. It was not something that I ever wanted to do. I never wanted to be a teacher. I hated teachers. I hated schools. I hated white people. I hated anyone that had power over me and made me feel insignificant, irrelevant, invisible. I hated it. I hated power. I hated people in power. I hated the principal. I hated cops. I hated anyone who felt like they could control me, own me, possess me. I was hateful. I carried a lot of hate and I walked around with a lot of rage and a lot of shit pissed me off. And then I gave birth to a beautiful girl who saved my fucking life. My daughter saved my life because I had a decision to make when I was pregnant with her. What kind of a person do I want to be? What kind of a mother do I want to be? What kind of life do I want to provide for her? I was her teacher. I didn't fucking know it. I would have never said that. I would have never owned that truth. I was her teacher. I was her first teacher. I don't think I've ever said that to her today. She's going to be 27. I was your first teacher, Cordy Court. Thea Coco to all the kids. I was her first teacher. Everything she learned from me first. And then all these motherfuckers in the world, these teachers and educators and universities and degrees that she walks with. I was her first everything. And so I know some things about teaching. Even though I don't have a degree in education, I have a degree in life. I have a fucking PhD, summa cum laude. Grit. So today I'm teaching, I have been teaching. I brought that into my senior center. I brought this into my 6th grade honors students. I'm bringing it to my high school students. We're talking about grit this week and the American dream, grit. And I'm sharing the poem, the Tupac Shakur poem. Tupac is my favorite rapper. He's my faves. Although I did grow up with Rakim, so I'm old school hip hop. Original hip hop. Anyway, throwing all the shade. I'm throwing all the fucking shade today. Today's Alicia Shady Day. The Tupac Shakur poem, The Rose That Grew Through Concrete. And if you haven't heard it being read, or if you haven't seen it, go see it. Maybe I'll throw up a little image of it later today. But grit. So it's not coincidental that the majority of my work right now is holding space and facilitating writing workshops for children of color, people of color, seniors of color, all over New York. And they're all different experiences, writing classes, because I have black students, I have Latino students, I have white students, I have Asian students. So everyone have very different ideas of what grit looks like and what that means to them, and what the American dream looks like and what that means to them. You ask some of our, very American students, our African American students, those who are here, they don't really talk much about the American dream because they assume that it's the American dream are for the people who were coming here from other places seeking this American dream, that they haven't taken the time to think, yo, but what's my American dream? Does that shit even apply to me? It's kind of fucked up, ain't it? That you could be living in this country and you're like, yo, but I don't got a fucking American dream and that shit doesn't apply to me. And we're here. Things to think about. But grit. Some people don't like the word grit and what it implies, That even if you grind and you don't get it, does that mean that you're not gritty enough? That you're not grinding enough? Like, when are you enough? When I think about the Tupac poem, The Rose That Grows Through Concrete, and it's like, what all you see are the cracks in the concrete. All you see is the dirt in the ground beneath my feet. And so you can't see anything positive. You can't see me shining, me grinding, me building, me creating, me giving, me loving, me serving. Because all you see are the fucking cracks and the pebbles. But when you see the rose that can grow through concrete, shit. What does that grit look like? Yo? Thinking a lot about Nipsey Hussle. It's in like my constant conversation. I've never spoken so much about a hip hop artist in my life, I don't think. I don't think that a death has affected me as much. And I loved Tupac. And I cried for Tupac. And I've cried for, if I think about artists that I cry for, people who inspire and are doing good work, this Nipsey Hussle thing is real because he was the definition of grit. And you could tell that he comes from a loving family, right? From a loving family. He was surrounded by love because there was a gentleness about him, about this man that was infectious. He had a light. And he's a rose that grew through concrete. Have you ever seen someone in a gang get a letter from the President of the United States? Barack Obama wrote a letter for his services. Barack saw the rose that grew through concrete. Grit. He's out here saying, I'm going to get mine. I'm going to show you how beautiful I am. Even with all this fucking ugly that surrounds me and all of these things that you don't allow me to have access to because I'm black. I'm going to rise and grind and show you I can get it anyway. Nipsey Hussle sold his mixed tape for $100 a pop. Yo, who does that? Grit does that. And so, while today I'm agitated by my surroundings and some personal things that are happening in terms of my work and feeling censored in my work, I know that my work is important and I'm going to keep doing, I'm going to keep grinding, I'm going to keep bringing this grit to this work. Yo, I woke up today feeling like I'm the Beyonce of literature. Like, when I think about grit, I think about why I'm doing this, why writing is so important to me. Writing is my voice. Even in the most peaceful days and the most guerrera, I want to punch somebody in the face days. And so, grit, yo. Today I hope that you are inspired to honor who you are and what you're here to do. And not let anybody tell you who you could be and what you could have. And so let's meditate. Let's take some deep breaths so I can go back into this school. Nobody can tell me nothing because I'm here to, what I was born to create, lo mío es mío. I will shine. When I rise, I am doing this for, I will remember that I come from, and my intention for today, I come from fucking gangster warriors, yo. I'm gonna walk with that. I wish that for me. I wish that for you. Peace.